Hi friends. Yeah, the feather's still in the wall. I haven't done a video for a little while. Fresh out of the shower right now. If you watched my Christmas cookies video, you would have seen I had a buddy. I have him again, different one, same model. May 26, 2025. I was an add-on for surgery because the wound had become infected again, and the new doctor decided the best process would be to just cut out the entire wound bed and start the healing process over again. So I went and I sat at the hospital basically from, don't mind me, I put my socks on, noon on May 26th, I think 7:00 p.m. I got into surgery. So surgery went fine. I went up to my room, no problem. Slept the night, no problem. Next morning, I woke up early, had to pee. So I got up, felt a little, after surgery you feel a little weak. Wandered into the washroom, sat down on the toilet and thought, oh my goodness, I am like so tired. I don't think I can get up again. But I did. It took me time. I had to hold on to the sink and wash my hands carefully and grab the IV bowl, and I went back to bed. And I went back to sleep. Well, the doctor came in after a bit and he said everything was good. I looked good. My vitals were good. I could go home. So this is the 27th of May. I can go home. Sorry, I'm kicking my camera stand. Okay, great. I don't mind going home. Going home is a great idea. So my nurse came in. My husband was there. And she was, listening to your chest like you're supposed to do and all that fun stuff. And then she asked me to sit up so she could listen to the back of my lungs. I passed out. My husband said my eyes were kind of like rolling back in my head, and I was like, ugh. And I didn't have any oxygen or blood to my brain for 3 minutes or so. And apparently the nurse yelled she needed help in here. I thought, when I was sitting up, I need to tell the nurse I need to sit down. And my husband's like, honey, you're not standing. I'm like, okie dokie. Anyway, when I came back around, at first I wasn't cognitive of anything. But then eventually, they had my head lower than my feet. So the blood was going back to my head. And I looked, and there's a nurse, and there's a nurse, and there's my doctor, and there's a nurse, and there's a nurse, there's my husband, there's a nurse, there's a nurse. And I'm like, hi. Where'd you all come from, kind of thing in my head. And then the doctor decided, okay, guess what? You're not going home. I need to see if I can get you into the ICU. So I went to the ICU right in front of the nurse's desk. I was given 8 units of blood plus heparin because I have that mechanical heart valve, so my blood has to be thinned. And 1 unit of plasma and a unit of iron, and I had to go back into surgery as soon as I was stable enough. I drew a picture of this because I couldn't believe the size. There was a blood clot, no word of a lie. You see this pad paper? Yeah, see that's my hand? Okay, it was that big and that thick. It had thrown into the wound in my belly, and I was free bleeding. The majority of the blood they gave me, free bleeding into my belly. So apparently when the doctor, not the same doctor did the first surgery, it was a different doctor, a general surgeon. When he did that surgery, he got the clot out. He was scooping with 2 hands. He's got big hands. Free blood out of my abdomen. My husband was very worried I was going to die. My sister, she saw me before I went in for that second surgery. Apparently I was very white, and she told me I'm not allowed to scare y'all like that again. I'm like, I didn't do anything. I spent most of that time sleeping, so I'd start a conversation, I'd be asleep. I couldn't even finish a sentence half the time. When you have not enough blood, you're tired. And then I got the wound packed with these black sponges, and this vacuum thing has a bridge up to my belly button and whatnot. So I had another surgery for the first bandage change because they didn't think I'd be able to handle the pain at the bedside. And then I had a few bandage changes at the bedside. I was on the in-surgical patient unit after I spent one night in ICU. So yeah, so then I went to the in surgery patient floor. I spent a total of 3 weeks in the hospital. I almost got out on Friday, June 13th. But my wound decided to spring a bleed that the nurse held pressure for 40 minutes plus put some calcitrate in there, which is supposed to help stop bleeding, and it wouldn't stop. So she packed it, and we left the vacuum off that night. And then the wound care nurse came in the next day, the other one, and she reapplied the vacuum because the bleeding had stopped and that spot had become white again. So that was good. I did get to go home on the following Monday. So that would have been the 16th. And I went in to see the surgeon a week after, and he's amazed at how well it's coming along. Apparently it's healing quite nicely. It has shrunk both in depth and in width. It looks like a big set of lips to me, but I'm not going to put the picture up here because it's just too gross for some people. I will put a few pictures up here. I have a picture of myself in the ICU. Nobody likes the picture, but it's part of the journey. I also spent my 50th birthday in the hospital and haven't had my party yet because we want me all healed up nicely and not have this extra accoutrement of a vacuum for my party. But my husband and Carrie, they arranged a little get-together, family and friends, in the cafeteria at the hospital, and we had some cake. And then when I came back up, the lovely nurses on the surgery floor, they had blown up some gloves as balloons and wrote happy birthday on post-it notes, each letter on a different color, and made me a little card with highlighters. It was really nice, and they cut out little hearts. It was really cute. So that was nice. So yeah, it's been a journey. So I'll add those pictures. I'll do some, stickers or whatever, let you know what I was doing here and there. I have quite a few pictures. I have a little video of tour of my room as well, so I'll add that too. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing a lot better than I was. And today is July 2nd. Yesterday was Canada Day. And I'm working on my brother's poncho, which y'all haven't seen because most of it's been done in the hospital. Hope to be back to doing my regular stuff again soon, but I have taken a hiatus because I'm not allowed to do a lot of what I want to do because I need to focus on healing. Have a great day. We have Rib Fest coming up here this next weekend, so I'm going to that. That's just standing in line mostly to buy your ribs. And then we go to Mom and Dad's and sit and try everybody else's because we get a few different booths. I don't know how many's gonna be there this year. Okay. Oh, I went to Butter Tart Festival too. I got a couple pictures of that. Butter tart's very sweet. I like them, but they're really sweet. So you don't eat very many. Okay, I think that's it. Hope everybody has a great summer. I'm going to try. This is the tour of my hospital room. Well, I was in a ward, so generally have my curtains closed most of the time. But yeah, so there's my IV pole. Exciting, eh? Not really. Most of the pictures in the hospital that follow this are not in chronological order. There's my bed. There's my vacuum you saw for a split second. And that's my IV. And there's my vacuum at the hospital. There are these tents here. Yep, Porter Johnny's over there.